love you, Jordan.
What's up, Shipman's friends, and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, I'm Nicole, and welcome to Naples TV. If you're not new here, then welcome back. Y'all, as y'all can see by that title and that thumbnail, then y'all already know what we talking about today. We can get straight into the video. So I want to tell y'all a little story time about what happened on my previous, well, honestly, it wasn't my previous assignment, so I can't really call it my previous assignment, but like, so y'all know that I joined SIU. So since I joined SIU, I had 2 ships with them, and then I had went for my 3rd ship the other day. Today is the 21st, January 21st. I left for my ship, maybe it's Sunday. So I left for my ship Wednesday, whatever date that it was, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just gonna tell y'all what happened or whatever, cause I feel like don't nobody tell y'all the bad stuff. So I'm gonna tell y'all the bad, cause it's never getting always good. It's never, you know, any job is not gonna ever be always good. So yeah. So anyway, y'all, so first off, I'm gonna tell y'all the whole story. So you know, it's always different point of views to a story, but this is my point of view and this what happened to me, and it is what it is. So period. So first off, I got my assignment. I picked my assignment off the board. So if you know what the board is basically like a big TV or whatever, and then it's got a bunch of lists of ships, whatever. So I picked my assignment. I got the assignment or whatever. Actually, I'm lying. I didn't put that assignment off the board. I called the coordinator and asked for that, but I did see it on the board. But I called her and asked her for something, and she recommended that I take that one. I didn't even pick that. She recommended that for me, but it was on the board, but I didn't pick it off the board. I called the coordinator and asked her, do she have something that's for like 75 days? And she was like, yeah, I can do this shit for you. So I'm like, okay, cool, because y'all know I get my surgery and stuff in April, supposedly get surgery in April, so it's kind of like I couldn't really do nothing that's 120 days, which I'm really not trying to do no 120 no more. That was the whole point of me joining SIU, so I don't got to keep doing that 120, baby. That 4 months be feeling long to me. So anyways, basically, like, what happened, she has basically gave me the ship or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool, and this would be my flight itinerary and stuff like that. So Wednesday morning, and y'all are more than welcome to state y'all opinion, how y'all feel, if y'all feel like I was dead wrong or whatever the case may be, because I ain't saying I be innocent or whatever, but I feel how I feel, and I'm entitled to my feelings. So if y'all feel like I'm wrong, tell me that I'm wrong. It is what it is. Be respectful though. But yeah, you can tell me I'm wrong. I don't mind. So anyway, let me get back to the story. So basically, the date come for me to go on the ship or whatever, and actually it was Tuesday that I went to the ship, because I remember I told my grandma I was leaving Tuesday. So it was a Tuesday. Mind you, today is Sunday, January 21st. So whatever Tuesday was, that's that day. So basically, that morning I had my first flight was for 8:30 a.m. and you always got to be to the airport 2 hours before your flight. So I was supposed to be at the airport at 6:30, but I had set my alarm for 5:20. My alarm never went off. Okay, keep up, cause we ain't going back. I ain't about to keep going back and forth. Y'all know I got ADHD, so keep up. So basically, my flight was for 8:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. And I'm gonna tell y'all what day Tuesday is, because I feel like y'all kind of slow. Or maybe I'm slow, but we just gonna, you know, so I'm gonna have my facts straight. So day the 21st, I left Tuesday the 16th. So January 16th, 8:30 a.m. was the day that I was supposed to get on my flight and the time. I was supposed to be there at 6:30. I had my alarm set for 5:20. My alarm never went off. So my mom ended up calling me at 6:30. She like, yeah, where you at? And I'm like, oh, I'm up. I'm telling her I'm up the whole time, baby, I would not die. I want to end up. So I washed my face, whatever, brush my teeth, hop straight in the car, because I had already had all my stuff packed. Everything was already in my car, and all I had to do was put my sweatsuit on and my shoes and brush my teeth. So I hop straight in the car, whatever. I drive. I get to the airport at 7 o'clock a.m. Man, my flight leave at 8:30. So when I get there, the lady like, oh, well, you gotta have an hour you got to be here an hour before to send your bags through. So I'm like, okay, it is an hour before. She was like, oh, well, you still got to go to TSA and blah, blah, blah. So I think you should just reschedule. And I'm telling her, like, babe, I can't reschedule. Like, I'm going to work. But she, like, basically, like, that's your only option is to reschedule. So I really didn't have it in me to keep arguing with somebody. So it was just like, okay, cool, whatever. So she rescheduled me for the next day, which would have been January 17th. She rescheduled me for that day for 5:45 a.m. And I would have been landing in Portland, Oregon at 1 o'clock. So she rescheduled me or whatever. And as she doing that, I called the coordinator and let her know, like, hey, they're rescheduling me, such and such, such and such. I missed the flight, whatever. Which technically I really didn't miss the flight at this point, but they wasn't trying to let me go upstairs through TSA and stuff. So whatever. So the lady's like, oh, okay. She was real nice, real calm about it. So she was like, okay, whatever. And she was like, I'm gonna see if I can find you another flight through another company. So I'm like, okay, cool. And me personally, I wanted to go to this ship. This ship is only for 60 to 75 days, and that would be an easy 2 months, a quick bag, a quick chat, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like perfect for me. So okay, cool. So then, like, what happened after that? I ended up going home or whatever, and I ended up meeting up with one of my homeboys. And we like, okay, I'm like, well, I missed the flight, whatever, so how about we just go get breakfast? So he's like, okay, cool. So we out getting breakfast at this place called Rusted Spoon in Virginia Beach. So we at Rusted Spoon or whatever getting breakfast, and she like, she texts me. At this time, it's probably about 10 o'clock a.m. About 10 o'clock a.m. And she texts me, she like, yeah, I'm about to send you the itinerary or whatever for later on this flight through Alaska Airlines. So I'm like, okay, cool. I ain't never heard of Alaska Airlines before. But I'm like, okay, cool. So she sent a flight or whatever, and it was for 3 o'clock p.m. on January 16th. So this is the same day that I missed the flight. She booked me another flight. She booked me another flight through another company on the same exact day because she said that the ship needed me there that day. Which, no shade to her, because like I said, she's really sweet, but it really doesn't even make sense that they needed me there that day and I wouldn't even be landing until 9 o'clock at night. So she booked me a flight for 3:30 p.m. I wasn't going to land until 9 p.m. that night. So the work day is already over. So it would have been best if she would have just let me go the next day at 5:45 in the morning, and I would have landed at 1 p.m. Oregon time during the working hours. Because you don't gotta work till about 4:30. But she didn't. So whatever. She booked me the flight. I went to the airport at 1 p.m. 2 hours before my flight took off or whatever. So I get there. I'm there at 1 o'clock p.m. I go to TSA and everything, and I'm sitting down waiting for my first flight to go to the first destination. Because so the flight is basically like take me from Norfolk to another place, and then from that place to Portland, Oregon. And I really can't remember because I didn't even do so much through the week. I cannot remember everything. So whatever. What happened after that? Basically, I'm sitting there, the flight get delayed. So instead of me leaving at 3, I didn't leave until like 5:45. Literally. So that was already a red flag. Which for me, I really feel like red flag number 1 was me missing my flight. Now that I'm looking back on the how everything went this day, it really was just kind of like, okay, well, it wasn't meant to be. And I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. So I probably been had red flags to the point where it was like, oh, it's not meant to be, and God basically telling me like, this ain't the shit for you, or whatever the case may be. But me being me, I still was kind of pressing my way through, being very much how I am, not listening. So sometimes you just gotta pray and dwell on things, and I really wasn't praying or dwelling on this situation because I just felt like I'd already been on other ships and I could pick a ship and go to the ship, whatever. So I really didn't include God in my plans like I was supposed to. That's number 1. So then let's get back to it. So basically, I'm at the airport wherever the first flight got delayed. So instead of leaving at 3 p.m., I didn't leave till 5:45 p.m. And I believe I was going to DC because it only took, I was going to DC. So we leave for it, we pull off, leave at 5:45. I get to DC at 6:45. Okay, cool. I'm looking on a big board. You know, when you go to the airport, it got like these big screens, the big TV and stuff tell you every flight that's leaving out the airport. So I'm looking at Portland. It's 2 flights leaving from Portland, I mean from DC to Portland, and both of the flights say canceled. So I'm like, canceled? I'm like, baby, like that was already like making me discouraged and getting irritated, because it's like, canceled? Okay, cool. So I'm going, like, as I'm walking to the customer service desk to let them know like my flight was canceled, whatever. I heard him on the 1MC in the airport saying basically like, Portland flight, come to gate D. Something was saying like that, basically like, come to gate D or whatever. You got 8 minutes to to be done boarding, basically. Sorry, y'all, I'm stuttering, but basically be done boarding. So the DC flight, you know, when you fly into an airport, you land at a gate. So I land at gate C something, and then I had to go to gate D, which was probably about a good 15-minute walk, 10-minute walk, probably about a good 10-minute walk. I'm gonna say 10 minutes. So they're like, yeah, you got 8 minutes, blah blah blah. I get there. I remember the time because I was on the phone. I look, I'm like, bro, like it's 7:07. So it's 7:07. I get to the gate or whatever. Literally, they was about to close the door. They're like, yeah, you the last person. What's your name? I'm like, my name Nicole. I showed him my boarding pass and stuff. He like, okay, cool. I'm the last person to get on this flight, dog. I'm telling y'all, like, no rapping my cat. No rapping my cat. I ain't lying. Like, I'm the last person to get on this flight. So I get on the flight. I only had my book bag, and I had my purse in my book bag. So I get on the flight, whatever. I put my book bag underneath the plane. I mean, underneath the seat in front of me, and I sit down, book myself up, whatever. Cool. 5 hours later, the pilot come on the 1MC. Man, we supposed to land it 5 hours and like 20 minutes. So the pilot come on the 1MC. He like, yeah, there's it was a real bad blizzard in Oregon. So a snowstorm. So basically, we're gonna have to stay in the air until they can get the runway clear. So I'm like, well, how long? So then he like basically on them seat, he like, yeah, we're gonna probably be in the air probably about an hour. Baby, I'd have been up here for 5 hours already. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get off. Like, it's just something about a long plane ride that's so tedious to me. I start getting anxious and antsy, like, I'm ready to get off. But anyway, so he like, yeah, basically we gotta sit in the air for almost another hour. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I just put my music in and go back to sleep. Finally, we finally land. I feel us landing, so I wake up or whatever. I start getting myself together, and I go into the airport. So once I get into the airport, whatever, I walk to the carousel to get my bags. The ship agent texted my phone. So basically, if y'all don't know what a ship agent is, basically it's this person that works for another company, but the company that they work for and the shipping company basically got like a contract. Basically, you gotta go, you transportation for whoever is coming to the ship, you transportation for the crew member that's coming to the ship. So the ship agent or whatever texted me and was like, hey Nicole, are you here, da, 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 da. So I had to let him know, because I had Wi-Fi on the plane too. So I had to text him, let him know, like, yeah, they said that we was gonna be landing a little later, probably around, we supposed to land at 9. We probably gonna land about 11. So he was like, oh, okay, I see it on, he basically was tracking my flight. He said that he seen that it said it was gonna land a little bit later. So I said, okay, cool. So once we finally did land, it was already 12 a.m. in the morning once we landed. So once I went to go to the carousel to get my bags and stuff, none of my bags was there. Everybody got their bags and I'm just standing there. Excuse me. I'm just standing there. So these other people, like some Filipino Asian people, it was probably like a group of them, like they was family. So it had to be probably about 6 or 7 of them. All of them was missing their bags, and then like 2 other white people that was on the flight was missing their bags too. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So it's not just me that was missing my bags. It won't like it's, oh, you, like they were singling me out, nothing like that. It's like, okay, a couple people off the flight was missing their bags. Y'all know what I'm saying? Basically. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of irritated now. Like, where's my stuff at? For real. So I go to the baggage claim. I let them know, like, I'm missing this. Ooh, she do me the baggage claim stuff, the incident report, and she said, like, well, we can see if we can have your bags here by tomorrow. Okay, cool. Man, at this point, babe, I done had a rough day. And it's Tuesday. So I'm like, okay. So Wednesday I have my bags, cool. So I go to, they supposed to be sending the bags to the shipyard, because the shipyard I was going to was in the shipyard. So they supposed to be sending them there. So I go outside, go to the ship agent car, whatever, we get in the car, man, it's snow and ice everywhere. Like, it's ice to the point where if you walk, baby, you gonna slip, like slip, no cap. So I go and I get on Jordan, so I didn't know it was gonna be snowing like that. Like, I knew it was gonna be snowing there, but I thought it was gonna be kind of like just cold weather and a little bit of snow. I didn't think it was gonna be like I needed some snow boots or some rain boots or something. I didn't think that, but whatever. So I go to his car, whatever, and I get in the back seat, and he drives me to the shipyard. So we get there, whatever. I see a bunch of other ships there, like a bunch of other MSC ships and stuff that I know about there. And when we get there, he like, yeah, it's real icy back here, so I'm gonna give you like my hiking stick that you can use when you got the car. So I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna need it. Who? Yeah, baby, definitely needed it when I got the car, because I couldn't even step foot on the thing. I was already slipping back and forth. So I'm like, look, this either gonna be like a medical recreation type of thing or what, I don't know, because I ain't trying to fall on these people's snow. So I got the car, whatever, and the ship that I was going to was surrounded by like a gate. All the other ships weren't surrounded by a gate, but this particular ship was surrounded by a gate. So he was like, yeah, you gotta put the password into the gate over there, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he gave me the password. I put the password into the gate. I go through. He followed me through. So we walking or whatever, and I'm like, well, where everybody at? Because it's real dark. So it's on the pier or whatever. So he like, what did he say to me? He like, well, I don't know where everyone's at. So I'm like, okay. So we're going down like this slope. Normally when you get on the ship, they got this thing called the gangway. And the gangway is like the steps that connect from the ship all the way to the pier, and vice versa from the pier to the ship. So yes, it's some steps. But this case, it wasn't any steps. It was like a slope. I don't know. Okay, say for example, like somebody, they got a wheelchair, and then like, you know how like people be having like these inclines built to their house, so like their family member got a wheelchair or something, they can just roll down the slope. It was like that. Like, it wasn't like something that you can walk up the steps or nothing like that. It was something like we really literally had to slide down the slope, because the slope had so much ice on it and we couldn't walk one by one, we had to slide. Red flag number motherfucking what? Oh, I ain't mean to cuss. Red flag number 3. Because what in the like, why do we gotta slide through this? This is really pissing me off just thinking about it. For real, it's really like getting me mad just thinking about it. So we get to the ship. I'm like, okay, nobody's at the gangway, quote unquote gangway. Okay, so I'm like, how about we just look through the doors or whatever? So we start going through doors, walking around the ship. Nobody's on watch. I don't see nobody on watch. No AB on watch. No OS on watch. No mate on watch. I don't see nobody on watch, which is weird. So I'm walking around the ship or whatever, and as I'm walking around the ship, he like, the man, the ship agent keep talking like, I don't know where everybody at. Excuse me. I don't know where everybody at. I'm like, okay, well, me neither. So we just gonna keep looking until we find them. Like, what? And at this point, I'm already irritated because I don't have no clothes. I don't have nothing. Like, the plane situation just was irritating me. Like, I'm just already irritated at this point. So, like I said, I was walking around the ship and I see the chief engineer door and I see the first engineer door. So I stopped to their room or whatever and I knock on their door. Mind you, at this point, it's almost 1 o'clock now. Like, it started to creep to 1. So I knock on their door, nobody answer. I go knock on the other door, nobody answer. So it's kind of like, at this point, I'm a crybaby. So I start crying like quick. Like, it is what it is, how I am. So I call my mama or whatever. So I'm telling my mom what's going on. Like, nobody's answering the door. I don't know where my room at. So I walked around to see if maybe if my name had, if a vacant room had my name tag on it or something. I I didn't see no vacant room with my name tag up there, like Nicole Johnson, nothing. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Then the man like, well, I gotta go. Like, he keep making emphasis on like he ready to leave. So I'm like, okay, well, let me call the emergency number or whatever that's on the email. So I called them. They didn't answer the phone. Okay, he ended up finding the captain number in his phone. Called the captain. He not answering the phone. So at this point, it's really giving me like bad vibes. So I'm like, okay, and it's unprofessional and it's negligent and all of the above. Like, it's just so many negative connotations that I can put on this situation. But me, I'm gonna keep it cute. I'm gonna keep it cute. I ain't gonna say too much. But it was really giving negligent. So for you to be captain, why is your phone on silent? Because the next day when I talked to the supervisor and the crewing coordinator, he was like, oh, I really apologize. The captain said his phone's on silent. Why is your phone on silent and you know a crew member was coming? Okay. So anyways, so my mama like, I was showing my mama, so I went outside or whatever, and I'm showing my mama how like it's ice everywhere because I could see the bridge. I didn't know how to get to the bridge from the inside of the house, like the steps and stuff. Like, every time I went up, all the way up to the steps, it would take me outside. So maybe, now that I'm thinking, you probably can't get to the bridge from inside the house. You probably have to go outside to get to the bridge. But when I was outside or whatever, I was looking at my, okay, it's steps that lead to the bridge outside, all the way up. I couldn't even walk on these steps. It was ice all on the steps. So even if I was to go to the bridge to see if the man on watch was up there, I could not get up there. It's literally ice everywhere. So then I'm like, you know what, okay, whatever. The man said, well, I'm about to go or whatever. My duty was to drop you off at the ship. You're here at the ship. I'm telling him, like, bro, it's cold as hell outside. It's 27 degrees. Literally, no exaggeration. It's 27 degrees, and then we're on a pier by water, so it's extra cold. So I'm telling him, like, bro, it's freezing. Can you take me to a hotel? And I just called them tomorrow, and they'll bring me back here. They'll find me a way back here tomorrow. He like, no, nobody told me about that. That's not my job. My job was to drop you off here. Just being an a-hole, like a pure a-hole. So, and if you thinking what I'm thinking, like, oh, well, it was he, then yeah, you already know he was. If you thinking what I'm thinking, like, oh, was he? Yeah, he was. But whatever. So he was being an a-hole or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. It wasn't okay cool at the moment. I really was kind of like irritated. So he said, well, just go inside and see if you can knock on that door again. So I go inside, I knock on the chief door and the first door again. And when I go back outside to tell him that they didn't answer again for the second time, he left. Like, I could see him pulling off. Like, he literally left me outside in the cold, 20-degree weather with nobody on this ship. Which, people was up there, but they all was asleep. So, like I'm saying, when I say nobody on the ship, I mean nobody was in sight. Nobody was in sight for him to properly hand me off to a person on the ship. And not even being like I'm entitled, but I just feel like as a man, you should have some type of standard for yourself as a man. And for you to drop off a 20-year-old girl, I'm 22, for you to drop me a 22-year-old female off, dark is H-E-double-L-L, you already know, for you to drop me off 2 o'clock in the morning, because at this point, now it's 2 o'clock. Like, the time was ticking. Now it's 2 o'clock in the morning. 27 degrees, on the water, ice everywhere. You don't care about nothing. You literally did not care about me. And anything could happen to me. Literally. Like, I could have slipped, fell in the water. Anything. So, that was like a problem for me or whatever. So now everything's just rubbing me the wrong way. I got a nasty attitude. Like, my attitude is real nasty, which it is what it is. My mama's still on the phone, so she know everything that's going on. She said, call him. Call him again. Call the man that just left me. Call the ship agent and tell him come back and get me. So I called him or whatever. Which my mom don't ship, so she don't know nothing really about what's going on. She don't know like certain things unless I tell her. So I showed her how the gangway was and stuff, and she was like, yeah, that is a mess. Like, this is chaotic. This is nothing but chaos. So I called the ship agent back or whatever, and when I called him, he answered the phone. He's like, yes. Like, I'm getting on his nerves. So I said, you saying yes like I'm like, because now I already told y'all, attitude nasty. I'm on 10. So he like, yes. I said, you saying yes like going off bad. Which I should have held my composure. But he really was playing with me because I already was irritated. So I'm like, yeah, you saying yes, like somebody get on your nerves. At the end of the day, you should have left me in the first place. Why would you leave me knowing it's nobody in sight up here? That's just like if he was dropping me off at my house, or whatever the case may be. You wait till somebody come out the house or somebody open the door and let me inside. You don't just take me to the front of my house and pull off. That's not what we do, baby. It's 2024. We don't do that. But anyway, so yeah, basically he had left or whatever, and he told me on the phone, he was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. He was like, just find some, he texted my phone, I got the message and everything in my phone. He said, how about you just find somewhere with some heat and park it there until the morning till everybody get up. I said, so you expect for me to sit for 4 to 6 hours till somebody wake up in the morning in the cold? Because baby, it was cold. Even inside the house, it was still cold. Like, you can change your temperature and stuff in your room, but it was literally still cold, like where the staircase was. So I'm like, you want me to sit still in the cold, whatever case may be, when you could have just took me to a hotel? He was like, nobody told me anything about funding the hotel. I said, I have my own money. You don't have to fund anything for me. So it was really just like chaos. One thing, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. And it just was a problem after problem after problem after problem. And it's like I'm still trying to push my way to this ship, and it's just not meant to be. So I started getting kind of like sad or whatever. And I was telling my mom, like, I don't want to sit up here. I don't want to sit up here for all these hours like this. Like, it's cold outside. So my mom was like, well, what's the other option? So I'm basically like, I could walk to the gate, because at the shipyard, in order, so it was 2 gates. So it's the shipyard gate to get onto the shipyard, and then there was a gate to get to the ship. So I was telling her, like, I could walk to, somebody called me. I could walk to the shipyard gate or whatever and wait for my lift there, like order me a lift to a hotel. So she was like, go ahead. Then we gonna stay on the phone. So I said, okay, cool. So I'm walking or whatever. I get through the first gate to get off of the like premises where the ship was at. And it's ice everywhere, so I'm showing her like the ice on the ground. So she's like, yeah, like just be careful, just be careful. So I'm like, okay, cool. So walking, and I hit this corner. So as I hit the corner, I see this little security car. So basically the security car, it was a lady in the car. She was like, hey, do you want to ride to the front? She was like, I'm trying to figure, I seen you on the cameras walking. I'm trying to figure out, why are you walking at 2 in the morning with ice everywhere? Like, it's dangerous, you gonna hurt yourself. And I was telling her what happened and stuff, and she was like, yeah, I wouldn't go to that ship. Like, I would call the people and tell them what happened, and I would honestly probably go home. And I literally was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go home. That's where it really registered to me, like, I think I'm gonna go home. Because this is too negligent for me, and I feel like if you already showing negligence and stuff like that, you don't even care to stay up for me, like to get on the ship properly. I feel like it was nothing gonna be, I feel like it was going to be nothing but chaos once I finally joined the ship and actually had to do my time up there. That's just not the type of people I want to be around, because I know me, I have a, like, my attitude can go from, I could be cool with you and be really good, like we can be real cool with each other, and it could be a smooth sailing, literally. But you do one thing to me and you rub me the wrong way. I don't do people like that. I would never do nobody like that. I don't care how old you is. You could be an older, like, you could be somebody older than me. You could be a man. If I'm dropping you off somewhere, I'm not leaving you. But it's just how I was raised. So it's like, I'm not leaving you. I would never leave nobody in no type of condition, period. It could have been summertime. But I feel like the cold did play a part into it. If it was hot outside, I probably wouldn't have been as mad. I would have been mad, but I probably wouldn't have been able to suck it up. It's like the cold played a part into it, because if I was to fall in that water, I could die instantly. Literally, you fall in water overboard and it's cold, you only have like 2 minutes to live. And it takes 10 minutes to rescue you. Like, it takes literally like a minimum of 10 minutes to rescue you from water. And you only have 2 minutes in the cold water to live. So I instantly would have died. So it's kind of like, I'm thinking like that, but nobody else thinking like that. Everybody basically like, fuck Nicole, you feel me? Like, everybody like, yeah, fuck her. Like, this shit don't really matter to them for real. This shit only matter to me because it's my life, it's not their life. But it is what it is. So basically, I'm walking there, the lady, the security picked me up. She like, basically she wouldn't go, whatever. So I take that into consideration. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to go neither. So I get to the gate. she basically was like, yeah, real sweet lady, and I really feel like God did this for me, because you know, it's always a lesson in a situation, period. So I get to the girl, whatever, she like, yeah, get some coffee, even if you don't want to drink it, just hold it in your hands, girl, it's cold outside. So I said, okay, cool. So I got me some coffee, I was just holding it, whatever, and I ordered me a lift. The lift came, and she was like, your bags come here, because man, I still don't have my bags. And that was another thing too. I thank God I didn't have that luggage with me, because it would have been too hard for me to drag that luggage on that ice, and I'm still trying to walk with me dragging the luggage. It was just too much. So I thank God that I didn't have no bags at the end of the day. So they come get me or whatever and take me to my hotel. I stay in the hotel, basically get there, everything cool. The next morning, I called the next morning? The next morning I called the chrome coordinator, and she was just like, she was nice about it. And I was telling her, like, I apologize for the inconvenience. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to get on this ship. I told her I don't want to get on this ship no more. I feel like it was just like negligent, and it was a big mishap. And I understand that things happen. I'm not oblivious to that. I know that things happen. I know that some things, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, some things just happen. It don't necessarily have to, you don't have to make it a big deal. You just gotta roll with the punches. But in this particular case, I'm not the type of person that roll with punches. I'm not. Like, it's either gonna be, I'm gonna just suck it up and go, or I'm not. And once my mind gets stuck on something, I don't want to do it. Like, the only person that can change my mind is me. Nobody can change my mind about how I feel about a person or a situation but me. So basically, like, she was just like real apologetic about what happened or whatever, and I was telling her, like, I apologize, I really don't want to waste your time, but I don't want to get up there. And she was like, you don't have to apologize, like, it's not your fault. She was like, that was very careless, and I'm gonna call my supervisor so she can know what happened, because I'm trying to figure out why did that even occur in the first place. Why was not nobody up to get you from the ship? Like, the ship agent took me, but somebody still should have stayed woke and basically made sure that you made it to the ship, because they knew you was coming. And that was my whole point. And I said, exactly. So she called her supervisor, and this is Tote Services. The company, it is what it is. It's Tote Services. We can put a name on it. It's Tote Services. So it was cool. So the supervisor, she called her. Supervisor cool too, real nice lady or whatever. She telling me, like, she understands. She said she would have taken it as a sign too. Like, all this stuff was occurring, she would have taken it as a sign too that maybe it's just not meant to be. So I'm like, yeah, maybe it's just not meant to be. Like, and I was telling her at the same time, I'll pay them the money for their flight, because that seemed like that's all they was worried about. Like, we wasted our money on the flight. And I said, okay, well, I can pay y'all for y'all the flight or whatever. I don't mind doing that. So she was like, okay, I still have to send this up to Labor and Relations, just because, like, what happened on their end, they basically needed it to be noted on my behalf and on their behalf of why they didn't have somebody filling this billet like they were supposed to. So the billet is like your number you get when you join the ship. Kind of like, you know how like people go to jail and they get an inmate number? Basically it's the same thing. You go into a ship, you get a number like that. So it's like, why we had supposed to have somebody filling this billet, but at this point now we don't. So what happened for the person not to come? So she had to call Labor and Relations. So Labor and Relations, I ended up getting her number from them. So I called Labor and Relations, and the lady was so nasty. She was mean, like, basically like, yeah, I'm not paying for you, because I was telling her, like, she was like, yeah, I was gonna, what she said, she was basically gonna see if I can get disciplinary consequences. And I'm like, disciplinary for what? I didn't do anything wrong. And also disciplinary consequences for what? When I forgot my other point. I didn't do nothing wrong, and I told you I got ADHD, and I told y'all I was gonna pay y'all back for y'all ticket. So it was kind of like disciplinary for what, when I literally just came to amends and said I'll pay y'all back. I didn't have a problem with that. So anyways, that was the issue. And she was like, okay, well, if you don't mind paying the ticket back or whatever, then we don't have to worry about disciplinary actions or whatever. I'm just gonna contact the Union Hall port agent and let him know what happened, blah blah blah. And I said, yeah, that's fine or whatever, I don't mind paying. And she was like, okay, cool. She was like, well, you can just get a ship or whatever after you pay the balance. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I told her, I said, but you want me to pay this, but you don't see a problem with me not having nowhere to stay? Because like I told you, I didn't have no room or anything when I got up there. No room had my name up there. It was literally like I had nowhere to stay my first night. So I said, I was like, you feel like that y'all shouldn't pay for my hotel? And she was like, oh no, we're not paying for your hotel. We're not doing that. That's exactly how she said. She was like, we're not paying for your hotel. We're not doing that. We're like, if you're not going to work and going to the ship like you supposed to, then we're not paying for your hotel. And I said, okay, it's fine. But I'm not about to fuss with you over $200. Like, I'm not about to do that. And over time, it started to accumulate. Money started to accumulate more and more and more, because first night was $200. Then I had to go to another hotel because my flight, I had to pay for my own flight home, and they got canceled. So I had to pay for another hotel the next night. That was another $200. Then I paid for my flight home, which that wasn't a problem. It is what it is about that. I wanted to go home, but it was just being petty because I didn't want to go get on the ship. She like, you already here in Portland. Why do you not want to get on the ship? And I'm like, because y'all already rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I already feel some type of way about the situation. I don't want to get up there with them. It is what it is. If y'all gonna be so careless about me even coming to the ship, it's like, why should I even accommodate y'all? Y'all couldn't even accommodate me and make sure that I got up there safely, and I had somewhere to lay my head. So why would I accommodate y'all? It just didn't make sense. To me, it doesn't. But like I said, y'all feel free to comment how y'all feel or whatever, because sometimes I trip. Sometimes I do be tripping, and I know that. Sometimes I be tripping, sometimes I overreact, sometimes I overthink, and I know that sometimes it really be me, I'm the problem. But in this particular case, I really just don't feel like I was the problem. Like, it is what it is, which I could have went and got in the ship, but I just didn't want to. Like, it really was everything. They like, oh yeah, you need to just suck it up and go to work. Like, the people at my union hall told me, like, I just need to suck it up and go to work. And I'm like, why would I do that? Like, their job, okay, so their job at the union is to basically like get you a ship, which is cool, but their job is also to keep these contracts with these companies. So they can't fill the positions on these ships, then the companies are going to take their contracts away. So these people will literally put you on the worst ship ever, the suckiest pay, the suckiest crew, the suckiest food, the suckiest captain, the most perverted men. Like, they don't care. They literally, all they care about is filling these positions, and that's what it seems like to me, and to other people that I talk to too, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways, yeah, so I was just like, I wanted to go home, whatever. So I went to the hotel. The next day, I booked me a flight that night. Actually, I booked me a flight that night. It was for early the next day. So I had to pay for me another hotel room. Then I had to go buy me some clothes because I didn't have any underclothes. I didn't have any clothes to put on, anything. No socks, no nothing. No toothbrush, no toothpaste, no rag, no soap, no anything. I had to go buy all that hygiene stuff. Then pay for lifts. It's the West Coast, so the lifts was crazy. When I tell you, I spent $250 on lifts alone within 2 to 3 days. Was crazy. What else? Finally, it's my final night, and my flight had got delayed earlier that day again for the second time because they wasn't pulling into Portland because of the snowstorm again. We didn't have another snowstorm, but that one snowstorm that they had was just so vicious and crazy that flights was being canceled left and right. So they canceled my flight for the second time for me to come back home to Virginia. They canceled it twice. So I'm like, I gotta get this hotel again. So that's another $200. And it is what it is. What happened after that? Basically, something, I was like laying in, like I had got the hotel or whatever, and I'm just like laying in the bed, and something just like called American Airlines. So I called American Airlines, and I asked them like, hey, I canceled my flight twice. I was trying to see if I had something for tonight. leaving out tonight to go to Virginia because I really do not want to stay here again and possibly risk getting canceled again. And she was like, Ashley, it was a man, he was like, Ashley, I do have something, but it's leaving in an hour. How far are you from the airport? I said, I'm probably about 20 minutes away from the airport. He said, well, if you can get there before this flight start boarding or before they leave, then you can get this flight. I hopped up so motherfucking fast. When I tell you, I hopped up so fast. Lightning McQueen on them, I'm telling you. So I hopped up, got my clothes on, so I'm like, yeah, go ahead and book that for me. Like, he's still on the phone, like, looking at details and stuff about my bags, where my bags, because at this point, even if I was to go to the ship, I still didn't have no clothes. So 3 days then went by, none of my clothes landed yet. They don't even know where my bags are. And today is the 21st. This happened on the 16th. I still don't have my bags. Today the 21st, I still don't have none of my luggage. So anyways, they're like, he like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out where your bags are. I said, look, man, I get them bags in a minute. At this point, send them. I told them, keep my bags in DC. Like, I had ended up taking the lift to the airport, and I told him keep my bags in DC. So he like, yeah, I don't know where they are. I said, I told him to keep my bags in DC. There should not be nowhere else but DC, because I can drive from Virginia to DC and go get my bags. Period. So he like, okay, well, I'm gonna schedule you for this flight. He was like, I don't see any seats, but I do see some main cabin seats, because you know, economy is like economy, main cabin, first class, whatever. So he's like, I do see some main cabin seats. They might put you on one of them seats for free. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get to the airport or whatever. Lyft, $99 to come from one spot just to get to the airport. Lyft, $99. And baby, if the West Coast funding like that, baby, I could never do it. I could never go to the West Coast. I'm an East Coast type of girl. The West Coast too much money for me. I ain't got it. But yeah, so I'm like, whatever. So I go to the airport, whatever, and I don't have no check bag. So all I had was my book bag. So I'm like, I can make this. Like, all I got is my book bag. I can make it. I get there, child. As soon as I'm walking up, she calling my name. And, oh, you Johnson. Oh, that's me. That's me. So I go walk up to the desk or whatever. She's like, yeah, do you want to sit in the exit row? I said, fine. That's cool with me, baby. I don't care. I can sit by the toilet. For I can sit in the kitchen. I can sit up there with the pallet. It don't really matter to me. As long as y'all get me to Norfolk, that's all that matters. I don't care about none of that extra stuff. Baby, put me on top of the plane. As long as y'all can put me underneath the plane with the dogs. As long as y'all get me to Norfolk, I don't care. So she like, okay, ooh, like, do you mind hopping in case of emergency? It won't. So nah. I told her I would, but I don't mind. But I told her I would. I said, yeah, yes, ma'am. Got on the flight. Then we got to Norfolk. No, actually we flew to Miami. Y'all already know I love Florida bad. Like, I'm really like on Florida real bad. I'm about to move there. But so I get to Miami, and then I'm like, should I stay here? Mama was like, girl, come on. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I ended up coming home. I got home 2 days ago on the 19th or the 20th. I don't know. I got home one of them days. And it's just been like crazy. I got home on the 20th. Yeah, I got on the 20th, which was Friday. Because when I got home, I went to the Union Hall. And it was just very much weird vibes, secret animosity, very much just weird, because you mad because I got off the ship that I never even signed on the ship too. That's another thing. I never signed completely on the ship. So you get like, when you sign on the ship, you get like a contract. Basically, you have to sign a contract saying, I'm up here for this amount of time. Basically like, that's what you working for. Woo, woo, woo. I never signed nothing because I never signed onto the ship, because it just wasn't given. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 2 o'clock, 1, 12, whatever, in the morning. Everybody sleeps. So I never end up signing on the ship, period, anyway. But y'all mad and y'all weird. And it was just like, okay, whatever. So, yeah, and then like, yeah, pretty much that's what happened. It's extra stuff that happened too when I got to the hall, but I really don't know if I should like talk about that or not. honestly, I don't know if I should talk about it or whatever, but I mean I can. What, like, it is what it is. Basically, like, the dude had asked me, do I really want to ship or whatever, do I want to sell? So I'm like, yeah, I want to sell. And I told him, like, at the end of the day, if I didn't want to go to this ship, I never would have took the ship in the first place. Y'all know me. At this point, y'all should know me enough. Y'all probably don't know me like that, but y'all should know me enough. If I ain't really messing with something for real, it's me against the world. I would stand 10 toes by myself if I have to. So if I didn't want that ship, I would never took it in the first place. I really wanted it. And then you could tell I really wanted it because I went through all these obstacles to get there. And then it's like, oh, you didn't want it enough. Didn't. I'm not about to, no. At the end of the day, like I said, why am I accommodating a company that couldn't even accommodate me? No. You don't care about me. You never, if you did care, y'all would make sure that y'all was up when it was time for me to get there. If y'all needed me to be there so bad, honestly, I feel like none of this stuff would have happened if they would have just let me come that next following day at 5:45 in the morning and I would have landed during working hours. If they would have let me come at that time, I really don't feel like none of this stuff would have happened. But is this not worth shipping experience? Probably. No. Well, I have two bad shipping experiences out of this whole time me shipping, and me getting in trouble and stuff when I was with MSC really wasn't I really didn't get in trouble with them, to be honest. Yeah, that was more of like a law thing. But anyways, if you haven't already, go check that video out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, it's really cool. I really don't have no bad blood with anybody. Yeah, I just basically stand for something and I don't fall for anything, so it never gave that. And don't forget to follow my Instagram, my backup, I mean not my backup, but my behind the scene page, because I post a lot of stuff up there. Like, anything that's going on my YouTube channel, I post it up there first. And then don't forget to follow my main Instagram too, because the girls be outside. So don't forget to follow that too. But yeah, y'all, at the end of the day, I would give this experience probably about out of 10. Wasn't my worst experience. It probably was a good, I'm gonna say it's a good 9, because I supposed to be going to make money and I spent probably about $1,500. So I mean, yeah, I give it probably about a 9 out of 10 out of my worst shipping experience. I think my other worst shipping experience too was with the union, and it was probably a 9 out of 10 too, so it was equal. But it's cool. I'm just here to share the bad stuff with y'all and the good stuff, because yeah, we be traveling, yeah, we making that money, and y'all be I be outside having fun with my shipmates and stuff. But when it comes to like certain things, you really don't see certain stuff happening like this, and y'all don't know that some of these companies are very unprofessional, very unorganized, very negligent, very like, you may sell on a ship and it could be so much inappropriate things going on, as far as, I know it's a male predominant field. Y'all know, like, my tongue be like, but yeah, it's a male predominant field, so it's very inappropriate to like a certain extent, as far as certain things that go on the ship, or the way that certain men act, or certain things that they say their mouth. Like, it's a lot of things that come with this job, and it's not just good. It's not just good, but that's every job. So it's just like, are you willing to put up with it? And as I say in all my videos, most of them anyway, you have to stand for something or fall for anything. And I'm just not the type of shit that's gonna fall for anything. I did not get raised like that, so it is what it is. And even if y'all don't agree with me, that's fine. Like I said, I could be 10 toes by myself. But drop in the comments how y'all feel about the situation. Do y'all feel like that I should have just sucked it up and went to the ship? Or do y'all feel like they were negligent and I could have possibly handled it a different way, or they could handle it a different way? How do y'all feel? Just let me know. And then not only that, y'all, I think I told y'all this already, but it's like she was really putting emphasis on, yeah, you have to pay us our money back for the flight. Drop that down in the comments too if y'all think I should pay them their money back for the flight or whatever. Because that's really going to make like a difference as well in my perspective. So yeah, just let me know how y'all feel. Maybe y'all could change my mind, make me, you know, feel bad for what I did, or do I not supposed to feel bad? I don't really know how to feel, honestly. All of my homeboys told me to come home too. Like all my shipmates and stuff that I hang with, they was like, come home or whatever too. So it's kind of like, I would hope they would lead me in the right direction. I don't know. But yeah. So just let me know how y'all feel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click the post notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's a little story time, whatever, nothing too much. But yeah, I'll see y'all in my next video. I'm out.
I love you, Jordan.